Hey everyone, my name is Simpsy. How you all doing? Welcome back to some more FIFA 23 career mode on FIFA's Realism mod. The main objective of this series is to keep it realistic and sensible, win the Champions League and save Chelsea's form. So I hope you guys enjoy. This is the current starting 11 and team under Graham Potter. Havertz, Mount, Sterling leading the line by default. Kovacic, Jorginho, Chilwell, Koulibaly, Silva, Chalobah, Azpilicueta, and Kepa. We're going to bring in Mendy into the starting 11. We also want to try and strengthen sensibly into some certain positions with a lot of aging talent and quite frankly a lot of players disgruntled that could be potentially leaving, like Pulisic or Ziyech. The first signing we're going to make is we're going to go out and grab Christopher Nkunku. Now, unfortunately, he has picked up a significant injury and will be out for a while, but we're going to pick him up early. Also going to grab World Cup winner Enzo Fernandez and Monaco defender Benoit Bediashile. Controversially, we're going to go out and sign the Ukrainian Mudryk. Now, at the time of recording, there's a bidding war between Chelsea and Arsenal for his services, and it's yet to be resolved. So, here is the team going into our first match of the season against Arsenal. Mudryk, Enzo, and Benoit on the bench, and Nkunku in the starting 11. First match at home at the Bridge. First match of the season. Massive start. Gabriel Jesus, 9 minutes in on the breakaway. Azpilicueta doesn't have the pace to track back, and unfortunately for the first goal of this FIFA 23 Chelsea series, we concede to Arsenal. We do manage to bring a goal back thanks to the newly signed man Christopher Nkunku, rocketing a shot off his left foot straight past the path of Leno just before the 29th minute, but unfortunately wasn't enough. It ended in a draw. Moving on now to match day 2, Graham Potter faces his former side down at the Amex against Brighton. We get gifted a penalty late in the 90th minute. Christopher Nkunku steps up and slots it home, giving Chelsea a late fortunate win in the death. Graham Potter gaining a glorious victory against his former side as he now looks to his first match in the Champions League group stage. First match in the Champions League against AC Milan. Want to try and top the group? Let's go. Mason Mount on the right, 29 minutes in, looks to deliver the football in. Trying to find Sterling, eventually does, right off the boot, tucks that one in nicely, didn't have to hit it too hard, and that's something special there creatively from Mason Mount, and a good tap in from Raheem the Dream. 1-0 up, AC Milan looking to come back, and it's a flying header from the Swede. Zlatan Ibrahimovic makes it 1-1 in the 53rd. Chelsea look to come back, and never fear, Christopher Nkunku is here. He's hit the ground running since joining Chelsea and gives us the lead 2-1 up at the 56th at San Siro. Chelsea hopefully can hold out for a dominant performance here today, scoring past Mike Magnan. At the other end, unfortunately, AC Milan react quickly and make things 3-2. Thanks to Olivier Giroud goal, it was no more than a consolation. Back in the Premier League we go. This time we face our arch rivals Tottenham. Nkunku starts off the scoring just before the 3rd, and we're continuing our decent Premier League form. At the other end now, Harry Kane receives a brilliant backheel ball, hits it with his right, sneaking it past Mendy. It's all tied up for 2-2. And late in the second half, Raheem Sterling has an opportunity to take the lead, and he does, creating a lot of space on that right-hand side, and scores a magnificent goal with an outstanding finish. Chelsea take the lead and ultimately go on and win the match against Tottenham. Moving on now to a match against Manchester City. We go north to the Etihad to face the Citizens. First match against Pep Guardiola. Unfortunately, we gift a penalty to City, and KDB, Kevin De Bruyne, slots it to the right of screen past Mendy. 20 minutes in, we're 1 goal down. We need a response quickly, and it's that man, of course, Christopher Nkunku has been such a vital signing for this Chelsea side. He is dragging us to countless victories. Once again, creating a decent opportunity. 5 goals in 9 matches. Unselfishly finds Raheem Sterling, who unapologetically celebrates against his former side, who sold him, ultimately. Their mistake. Graham Potter, the Blues and the boys go celebrating because they know with that goal, it's going to be a victory away at Manchester 2-1. Back down at home at the Bridge, we've got another match, this time around against Liverpool. 12 minutes in, and Nkunku gets a penalty, slots it to the left-hand side past Alisson, and looks set to be our top goal scorer in Season 1 of this career series. And that's how it ended, a sneaky 1-0 victory. Christopher, unfortunately, has now picked up a 6-week injury after having amazing form. It wouldn't be realistic if there wasn't a 6-week injury or a massive injury coming up. So a new striker is going to need to take the reins. Aubameyang and Broja are going to be vying for that. Match against Fulham. Raheem Sterling starts off the scoring with a gifted penalty. And Sterling, on the breakaway, slips it into Broja, the Albanian international. Obviously was on loan at Southampton. Has an opportunity here to earn his place in the starting 11, with Nkunku out for 6 weeks. 2-0 up against Fulham, our rivals. And Broja doubles up with a brilliant brace, staking a really solid claim to that striker position. We go north to Manchester now, facing the Red Devils. At the Stretford end, Aubameyang, now in the starting 11, after Broja having a break, starts off the scoring there just before the 39th, and both Aubameyang and Broja have stepped up to the plate with Nkunku's absence. The Theatre of Dreams is turning into a nightmare as Chelsea look to double up, and they do, thanks to the former Manchester City player, Raheem Sterling. Now, blue and blue. Back in the Champions League, we made the semi-finals against Barcelona. Juventus play Liverpool in the other semi. We go down to the Camp Nou. Just before the 65th minute in the second half, unfortunately we give a golden opportunity to Ousmane Dembele, who has been rumoured to potentially having a Premier League move at some point. He's been linked to clubs like Chelsea, Liverpool, United, but at the moment he's still tearing things up for Barca. Unfortunately, we leave Camp Nou with a 1-0 defeat. It's all up to this match at the Bridge. Mason Mount, 3 minutes in, starts off the scoring well. It's 1-1, and it's all to play for in this Season 1 Champions League semi-final. Scoreline 1-1, and Rafinha, the former Leeds man, looks to bury Chelsea's chance at a final. And just before the 21st, the Brazilian international makes it 2-1, celebrating well at the Bridge. 2-1 down, Chelsea need a rapid response. Raheem Sterling with a cutback finds Mount, who flicks it onto Kovacic, who somehow sneaks it past Barcelona. It's still all to play for. Late in the 86th, Raheem Sterling, Raheem the Dream, takes the lead. 3-2 on aggregate, and that's how it ended. We end Season 1 with a second place finish after 37 matches. Last match of the season will decide the title, depending on Liverpool's result. So last match of the season, here we go. Which is a match against Nottingham Forest, a pretty favourable draw. Christopher Nkunku steps up, smashing it to the left past former Manchester United goalkeeper Hendo. He gets another penalty, thankfully, in the 55th, and we're 2-0 up. We're still waiting to hear on Liverpool's result. The full-time whistle blows. We've done our part, winning 2-0. And festivities and celebrations break out as Liverpool lose their match, and Chelsea win on the final day on the last match of the season. Now we look to a match against Juventus in the Champions League. We are massively favourites. Chelsea have European pedigree, while Juventus don't. I believe this is their first final in decades for Juventus. 10 minutes in, looking to get this Champions League final underway. Raheem Sterling beats Bremer and Juan Cuadrado, our former player. The Colombian allows Sterling to slip past, and we're 1-0 up just before the 10th minute. Sterling is really lifted since Nkunku's injury. 1-0 up, Chelsea looking for their second, and it's Mason Mount to double things up. 2-0 just before the 56, and puts us in a really solid and secure position going into the late minutes of this secondary half. And that's how it ended. 2-0. Chelsea win the UEFA Champions League final and double up under Graham Potter. Thiago Silva lifting the Champions League final for the Blues, and Chelsea win. Looking at the stats, Raheem Sterling finished off being the top goal scorer with 34, Nkunku with 27, Ziyech with 13. Back in the other fixtures, Arsenal won the FA Cup 2-0 over Manchester United, while we got knocked out earlier in the competition. Moving over to the Carabao Cup, Arsenal make another final, this time around Liverpool beating the Gunners 3-2. Looking at the Europa League, Jose Mourinho's Roma beat them 2-1, fully licensed in this Realism mod of course, and Fiorentina beat Anderlecht. Moving on now to Season 2. Romelu Lukaku back from his loan. Hopefully we can go back-to-back in the Champions League and do well in the league. At the end of Season 2, unfortunately, our league form fell off. We lose by 6 points, finishing in third, however, securing Champions League football. Liverpool finishing in second, United in fourth. Back in the Champions League, we've made another historic Champions League final, this time around against Inter Milan. We face Simone Inzaghi's side with a potential opportunity of doubling up a Champions League within 2 years. So hopefully Graham Potter can create a Champions League dynasty here today. Chelsea coming into this match against Inter with a new weapon, that being Romelu Lukaku, which we stole from them. 42 minutes in, Christopher Nkunku, now in his second season, is absolutely world class for Chelsea. He's been such an outstanding signing, starting off the scoring there just before the 43rd. And Chelsea look to increase their scoreline. Nkunku, cool, calm and collected, slips through Raheem Sterling. 2-0, we lead against Inter Milan and look set to be claiming our second Champions League within 2 years. And we do, beating 2 Italian sides in 2 years. But you've got to give it to the Italian League. They're doing well in this career series. Moving on now to Season 3. Here are the stats. We got knocked early out of the FA Cup, the Carabao, but the board are happy with a third place finish and a UEFA Super Cup victory, and obviously 2 Champions Leagues within 2 years under Graham Potter is significant. Moving on now to Season 3. Unfortunately, our league form has dropped off a bit. While Manchester City win another Premier League on 89 points, we finish just outside the top 4 by a point. In 5th, Liverpool in 6th, Arsenal 2nd, Spurs in 3rd, Manchester United in 4th. That league form barely kept Graham Potter in the job, but we've managed to make a 3rd Champions League final. This one against Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool. Both teams really strong favourites to win, of course. Nkunku, 36 minutes in his 3rd Champions League final, scores again. And we are 1-0 up against the Reds. And would you believe it, that's how it ended. Graham Potter wins 3 Champions Leagues within 3 years. And at the end of Season 3, I feel like this is as far as we can push this side. Nkunku goes to a 90 overall rating. Mount 87. Sterling 88. And here are the other stats and potentials, of course. So Graham Potter now. Let's have a look at the My Career stats. And have a look at Graham Potter's overall record. So Graham Potter ends this career series with 1 league title, 1 UEFA Super Cup, 3 Champions League. The biggest win was against Liverpool, 6-1. Our biggest defeat was against Man City, 4-1. After 186 matches, Potter has a win record of 128, 23 draws, 35 losses, a whopping 380 goals, and 176 conceded. £61 on the wage. That definitely should be increased with 3 Champions Leagues and creating a dynasty at Chelsea. So I hope you enjoyed this saving FIFA 23 career mode on FIFA's Realism mod. If you enjoyed this type of content, like and subscribe, and stay tuned for more videos on the channel. Cheers.